of course, by King Koi, your host here of one of the greatest podcasts, music NFT podcasts on earth, I must say. And we're here today to talk to you, our listeners, our beautiful, starry-eyed dreamers, our music NFT champions of the world, about a post we recently saw by the young Cooper Turley. If you don't know who he is, he's actually an advisor for Audius, but he's a massive player in the music NFT market and just a really intriguing, smart young man that constantly has a lot to say about the market, but also puts his money where his mouth is and buys. Like he has, last count was like 100 ETH worth of music NFTs, and he's quite comfortable all of those going to zero. I don't know how true that is or not, but that's what he says.
I don't think anyone's really comfortable with that going to zero. But
yeah, I mean, it might happen, but yeah.
But he is very much a champion of the music NFT space, and continues to write amazing articles and well-written tweets about the whole space. And this particular one caught my eye. And as we were chatting tonight, gearing up for the episode, I brought it up and mentioned it as a possible topic. And here we are. What are you guys thinking?
If you're not following Cooper on Twitter,
check him out.
Follow him at Cooper Trooper.
So it's 3 O's.
We'll link it in the show notes.
We'll link it in the show notes.
That's confusing.
Instead of having Brock trying to spell it out. There's 3 O's and then there's
3 O's, 10 Z's, a hyphen, an asterisk, and a Z.
And Hebrew.
I think we're going to do half today, though, aren't we?
Reverse 3.
20.
Yeah, 20 so to talk about a little bit more of the post, he's gone and written 20 problems with music NFTs today. And he's written, what are they called? A
thread.
A thread. On that, on Twitter. We're going to do a 2-part episode on this because we figured, if we start going on about one thing, we'll probably run this episode a little too long. So we're going to split it up into 2. Possibly 3, just depends on how long we go on each particular topic. But we figured it was a great one to bring up because every time you bring up NFTs in general, it's something that people raise straight away is like the issues that they're facing. So great topic. I'm going to lead it off. So the first topic is written is accessibility. All the top music NFT platforms suffer from gatekeeping. Interested artists do not have a smooth on-ramp into the space. Music NFTs are expensive and bar out the average fan from collecting.
Interesting thoughts. I don't know.
I agree with some of it. Don't agree.
Which do you agree with, Aaron? Which ones do you agree with, Aaron?
I agree that the top music NFT platforms suffer from gatekeeping, and I do agree that
Sound XYZ, Royal.
Yeah, and I do agree that music NFTs are expensive and are out of the average fan's reach, but I don't necessarily believe that interested artists don't have a smooth on-ramp into the space. I think there's definitely platforms that we've spoken about that you can just upload a track and it's minted as an NFT. I think it's a little bit more accessible for every artist to kind of just do, even if you just want to like upload it onto OpenSea. I still think is fairly simple. But as like a music NFT platform, like Royal, Sound XYZ, definitely. It's like I didn't even know how you would like Royal, for instance, who's run by Blau. It's like he's just doing like his friends and his mates and people that he likes at the moment. It's not like you can go and like submit your stuff and it gets approved or anything. It's like he's just like selecting the drops.
It's the top tier guys too. It's like it's not anyone who's up and coming or anything. It's like, it's people who are already established.
As far as something that's really big and is accessible to the average person is Sound XYZ, but I think I did a post on TikTok the other day and someone mentioned the fact that it's, even though it is accessible, there's still 11,000 users in Discord. So that's 11,000 artists in there waiting for an opportunity to upload their music to the platform. And they're only doing 2 drops a day, I think, at the moment. So that's 8 years away before they got through those 11,000 people. So, I guarantee you'd probably get on there sooner than that. Yeah, I reckon it'd be a year max wait. But there is some gatekeeping in a sense, but it is there's gatekeeping all through. In not like the music industry, and then not.
Yeah.
No, but like, you can get on Spotify quite easily, but to make it further in the music industry or get in a record label, there is a gatekeeper there. So it's kind of like, for the better platforms, they're going to do more for your career. Of course, it's going to be a bit more difficult. But as you said, it's websites like Mint Songs already make it so easy. You just mint the song, boom, done.
Yeah, I think there's lots of options, and there's lots more options coming. Like we've got, Mint Songs and all this stuff, and Royal is like an interesting one because the concept's a bit different. It's something with royalties, which sort of adds another layer of complexity and utility onto something. So I don't know if that's really for every artist. I don't think every artist is going to want to do that and give up royalties, or it's not going to be worth it. Like if the royalties on someone who's not a platinum or multi-million stream artist is very minimal. So to sell NFTs where you're getting a percentage of that doesn't really make sense, because the return you're going to get on it is going to be so small. So I wonder, if some of these other spaces, I think we're going to see other top tier music platforms emerge quite soon that will be open to everyone and won't have gatekeepers. So I think what we're looking at is similar to how the music industry has always evolved. We've always had many gatekeepers at the beginning.
100%.
And then as the technology develops and we get more platforms and we get more competition, it opens it up and makes it easier for artists to become part of,
we just
of the industry.
I literally just shared a post where LimeWire is just accepting its first artist. So for those of you that don't remember LimeWire, the old download music download platform that was peer-to-peer, so that they've just gone into the NFT race, and they're heavily into the music NFT space, and they're already developing a marketplace and a platform to mint music on. So
what a deep cut LimeWire. I haven't heard of them for years. It's all of a sudden they're back, so that's interesting.
Right,
what they do.
Let's get on to the next one. Yep. Already we're just like riffing so hard. Number 2, utility. There isn't much to do with your music NFT. There is limited utility for those who hold these assets within the artist communities they underpin. In most cases, you're purely buying a collectible. When there is utility, the UI UX is poor at best.
We kind of did an episode on this. I
feel we feel very strongly in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I suppose not many people have done it yet. Like the utility,
that's what he's talking about.
Do it. Yeah, but people just haven't done it yet. So I think that's the biggest thing. But people will definitely do it. It's coming. But I think at the moment people are just happy to, go with the big platforms like Royal and just sell collectibles because it's easy. They don't have to invest time for, like actual real life experiences and things. So I think that's probably why people haven't, ventured that far yet. But it's not going to be long till someone's going to do that. It's going to be very soon, I think.
Yeah. If you want to, what Jai was mentioning there, you can go check out episode 17, the music artist NFT strategies, where we talk about a lot of utility for what a music NFT could possibly provide to the user, and just giving ideas for an artist and what they can do. So you can go check that out. Did you have anything to add, Aaron?
Yeah, I kind of don't really agree too much with this one.
Cooper's getting flamed.
He's over 2 on me at the moment. I get where he's coming from, but it's like there isn't much to do with the music NFT. Well, I mean, there is, but it's just like whatever the artist wants to give you. Really, it's like it's up to the artist to make that utility. Not really like music NFTs. Like music NFTs as a whole have millions of opportunities, millions of utility cases. It's just like whether anyone's actually doing it. It's like, do you want to give out royalties? Do you want to have it as like a royalty-free song that people can use? Like Snoop Dogg has, he's got the beats so you can make your own song with his beat. So it's like there's plenty of utilities, but it's just whether or not people actually want to do something with that. I agree that when there is utility, the UI is poor at best. But I think that's just, we're so early. People are just kind of trying to get things done quick rather than taking their time.
Yeah,
agreed. Up next, number 3, IP. Streaming or licensing a music NFT opens a can of worms around rights ownership. Now, this is actually a real hot button at the moment still, and will be for the next 12 to 18 months. No one has a uniform answer on how to treat a music NFT sale, and we probably won't for some time. There's no standard around music NFT monetization. He's listed a project called CCO. Is promising, but very utopian. I actually don't know anything about CCO, so
me neither.
comment on that.
we'll have to do a follow-up one on that. Yeah,
I've
what's your
written it
thoughts? Let's go to you first, Brock. What's your thoughts on this one, the IP?
I think he's right. It's kind of like you're in no man's land at the moment. You have an artist like Kanye West releasing. I always forget the name of this fucking thing. Aaron, what's it called? He's Pod.
Oh, mate,
Stem player.
Yeah, stem player.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's got 1.5 billion streams on his stem player recorded. Like, he has statistics, it sends it back to home base. But he has no way to get an award for that. It is going to be the same in NFT land. There's just no... If the music industry as a whole can't control it or regulate it, they don't want to have it as part of their accounting system. So to I just license it, own it, etc. is difficult. It's kind of, again, in the artist's hands. So they can't really they can't legally pass you the ownership, but they can if they want to.
But that's
because they just have to pay you the money as it comes into them.
And I think the interesting thing about this is, like, with the IP stuff, this has never been done. Like, it's never been done. You've never sold IP to someone via a collectible or an NFT, or like, you've never sold a CD to someone and they own the IP. That's never happened in the music industry before. So that's, you would only give away your IP to labels, or you would allow, someone to use it for commercial purposes if they were, licensing it with you for commercial use. I see in the future that people could sell 2 NFTs of different prices, one for commercial use, one for not commercial, for private use. And there would be different, pricing for that. So again, like I said, something that we've never had in the music industry. So of course it's going to be difficult to implement, because then we're not only implementing it into a different, a different digital marketplace, we're also implementing a whole new strategy we've never done before in music. So I think that's, again, we are so early, but it's also something that has never been done. So to sort of conceptualize how we do it is difficult. And I think that's what we're going to have to figure out. So I think he's kind of right in terms of, there's no standard or anything. So that's a 50-50 one for me. And
CC0, which he refers to, is just like Creative Commons licensing. Is what
okay, so
it's like Creative Commons are like looking into how they're going to do it, but it's like this has never kind of been done before, so it's very like they're not even sure how they're going to go about it. So they're still like trying to figure it out.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, sick. Next, quality. The best artists in the world are not releasing music NFTs.
Wrong.
Many have, I beg to differ, Cooper. Many have critiqued that the quality of music is not up to par with the amount of hype music NFTs get. Songs are selling for thousands of dollars that in many people's minds are not good songs.
If they're not good, then why are they paying thousands of dollars?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to disagree with you again, Coops, but I mean, we just bought a track from Diplo, so it's like, some of the best artists in the world are releasing music NFTs.
I think they're starting to come in, right?
I think he's saying en masse is where his point is pointed at. Yeah, it's there's not a big sweeping, Nelly Furtado's not releasing fucking music NFTs. Katy Perry's not releasing music.
Is Nelly Furtado even releasing any music anymore?
Jeez, that was an interesting example.
I have been listening to one of her songs a lot recently, so just give me a break.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, And I mean, I guess it's debatable about like the quality of music isn't up to par with the amount of hype that music NFTs get. I mean, I feel like that's all subjective anyway. But yeah, songs are selling for thousands of dollars that in many people's minds are not good songs. But isn't that just music in general?
Yeah, that's totally music.
It's subjective. The quality and what you like in music is totally subjective. But I think what he's trying to get at is like he's alluding to a fact that it's more independent artists now. So but independent artists have to lead the way, otherwise the bigger artists won't come, because we have to test the ground.
Yeah.
For the bigger artists to walk on, because then they're just going to come over here and waste all their money on something that won't work. They want to see if it works first. And there will be pioneers, and there has been pioneers, but I think he's right in what he's saying here, but maybe just needs to fix how he's saying it.
Yeah, he's definitely got a good point. Like as a whole, majority of like the bigger artists, like he said, the quality, I suppose, is not there. But yeah, I think.
I mean, for instance, we were in a giant R in a Twitter space that we helped a guy inside of that had come in and just heard about NFTs, went to OpenSea, uploaded 10,000 versions of one song, and was like, "I'm ready." Come at me, music market. I'm ready to be rich.
Bag of cash.
Yeah, it's like,
and you're like, bro, just give it a rest, all right? Just let like I'm like, number one, delete 9,500 of those minimum, and let's start from there.
Make it a bit limited.
Maybe 9,900, maybe 999.
Yeah.
So it just that. In that sense, I do agree with a lot of what he's saying in that comment. Number, where are we now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Onboarding. There is no clear path on how to get started. Very true. While guides exist, the actionable steps to become a Web3 artist is very unclear and hazy. From the outside, music NFTs are a boys' club for rich people to flex. This is not inviting to new entrants. Just sort of like harping on that. It is, and it's something that I'll say a lot, and that I think the boys will reiterate is there are no experts in NFTs. There are people that know information and have seen it happen a little bit more. But I think to be an expert, you need minimum 5 to 10 years in a space. And no one has, so that doesn't exist at the moment. But yeah, just sort of.
I heard you talking on the Mr. Consistent podcast. You sound like a bit of an expert, mate. Plug in there.
I think your title is actually NFT Wizard.
NFT Wizard. There you go.
That is my new Twitter handle, NFT Wizard.
Go check it out if you haven't.
I did a recent advised on a recent NFT launch for our friends at Mr. Consistent here on the Gold Coast. They released a NFT set of 30.
They're a beverage company, in case you don't know.
They're a beverage mixing company. They did 30 NFTs that were like gift renditions of their bottle, and then as part of that, you basically become a member, but a high level member, which they've only done 30 of, which is pretty sick. So heaps of value there. But I digress. Back to this. I definitely wholeheartedly agree with this statement. What's your thoughts, Az?
I think the line from the outside, music NFTs are a boys' club for rich people to flex, I think it's true, because I think in general, NFTs are a boys' club for rich people to flex from the outside. That's how they're perceived a lot of the time. And I think maybe music NFTs, I think a lot of, like the selling point of like what people promote from music NFTs is like, I've made this much amount of money in this amount of time, as opposed to the little amount of money that I made on Spotify or whatever. So I think like money is such a big factor in selling people the idea of NFTs. And I think maybe that's what puts a lot of people off, because I think it's just a get rich quick pyramid scheme kind of vibe.
Yeah. I think that like there's a few parts to this one point. Like the onboarding part about there's no like there's guides and things, but there's no actionable steps. Well, that's like part of what we're trying to do here. We're trying to help educate people so that they can figure out those steps and onboard and become part of the space, because like Cooper says here, there's no there's no one way to do it. And it's, we're all figuring it out together. And I think, saying there's like looking from the outside, it's hard for us to sort of give an opinion on that, because we're not on the outside. We only see what our friends and everyone who talks about it says.
In the echo chamber.
We're in the echo chamber, yeah. But as far as it's not inviting to new entrants, I mean, that's exactly what we're doing here. We're not we're not some rich experts in the field. We're learning along with everyone else at home. So that's the whole point of this, is to make it an easy process. So I think there's people out there, like Cooper, like other people in the space that are pushing it forwards, that are trying to figure this out, and they're trying to carve a way for artists and figure that out. And I think we're going to get there, and that's why I say everyone needs to be part of the space now, and it needs to be diverse. We need to have, we need women, we need people of all genders and things like that, of all races, and to come in and help us, because right now is when the space is being built, because as you said, there's no experts. None of us are experts. So we're all building it together, trying to figure it out. And so that's why we need a diverse range of people to try and do that. And that's something that I do feel strongly about, that we need lots of different ideas and different people in the space, because we're building it now. And once it's built, everyone's going to use it in 5 to 10 years. It might change or whatever, but that's why I'm so passionate about people getting in now, is because it's our chance as a whole community
to set the standard.
Just set the standard and to build, make it what we want. And that's why we need those people. So if anyone out there has ideas on how we can make it more inviting for any of those people, send us a DM. We'd love to hear it. So that one got me fired up, boys.
Clip that, boys. Clip that one.
That got me fired up. I'm ready. What's the next one?
I'm writing the time down. 22:20. Yeah, let's get that, baby.
I'm fired up. Let's go.
Next one, valuation. Valuation. There are no uniform metrics on how to judge music NFTs. Music is extremely difficult to value. It means something different to every person. Commoditizing music is scary and takes away from the fact that music is art. We have never had public markets for music.
I don't know. I'm 50-50 about that last statement. I mean, we had CDs and records. That was kind of a marketplace. It may have seemed like it was unlimited, but there is a limit to how many of those can be produced, and how many of those are available. So yeah, I don't know about that last bit, but yeah, I know I do see a lot of people coming and saying, that it's commoditizing something that's art. But that's always happened, and if artists want to keep living in this world,
it's like, isn't that the music industry?
Yeah.
You're getting paid for your art. That's the whole point.
I have had a lot of, like, that you brought that subject, that point up there, Joy. That's been in the comments a lot, actually, when I've posted either on TikTok or Twitter in some cases before I got right into, like now I'm in the pocket of NFT Twitter, so no one really that isn't into NFTs sees our posts.
Yeah.
But on TikTok, it's a lot more common to get put out to people, and that's it's like, oh, you just commoditize, you just demonizing, commoditizing music way more. It's like, like, how do you think people get paid to live as artists? Like, they need to figure out ways to commoditize their music, quite literally.
It's exactly like this is a huge problem because of LimeWire and Napster and all these people who all these places where music lost its value. It was not worth. It's people can stream a song anywhere. That's new in the last 20 years. That didn't exist before. You couldn't do that. That was impossible. And now it's something that it's music is worth so little in terms of it costs you nothing to be able to listen to, that people have lost that sense of that it should be worth something. I saw a quote somewhere that I love repeating. It's music is valuable. It should have value. It's art, but it should have value, and people need to recognize that. And we need to get back to that.
I heard an interesting All right, Az, chill out.
As is getting into it too, he's getting fired up as well.
You just the gavel
Could
down.
that,
All right,
could that,
all right.
me,
Agreed. I actually heard Cooper talking on another podcast about this, close to this subject, and he brought up a solid point where it was like what you were harping on there, Jai, about like music sort of losing its value through the Napster, through the Spotify eras now to us. It's kind of like we expect it to be cheap or free, basically. And he's like, well, and I think you and I have talked about it as well, Jai, where it's like, okay, well, why don't your first music NFTs just be free? And then you figure out how to garner that commoditization after the fact, more so than trying to just get them with the music. Um, and finding a way where, like, you know, and this is where DAOs, staking, all the other you know, things you've got to play with in the Web3, you know, the Web3 world can sort of come into play and remove that need to commoditize the music NFT on its own, and you can start to find other assets and other ways to sort of get that out there. So, you know, it again, you know, I agree that I don't, the point isn't really there, but it's an allusion to the fact in there.
Yeah, I think
I think it's
owning a
naive.
CD.
It's naive to be like commoditizing music is scary. It's like, well, that's how everyone makes a living for doing what they love.
Anything, yeah.
Yeah, and owning a CD or a record used to mean something. Like back in the day, you'd hear a song on the radio and you'd be like, oh, I've got this song at home on CD, or I've got this album at home on CD. And that meant something to people. It was part of your identity. It meant that you liked that band. It meant that you liked that kind of music. You liked that song. You identified with that artist and their fashion or whatever it was. Like it actually meant something to people. And like, I think music NFTs can bring that back. It can mean something to you again and be part of your identity. And that's, you know, that's just as a digital collectible with no utility. So I think there's definitely definitely something in there for the future that if we can bring that value back, that's why I think NFTs can do that.
Agreed.
So, yeah.
You hear that, Aaron? I agree.
Agreed.
Up next, authenticity. And it's the big play in the space. People buy music NFTs without listening to the underlying song. There are actors who do not care about the music but see it as a good investment opportunity. For those with a passion for music, it's difficult to watch a pure art form turned into gambling. Now, I actually brought this up. Yeah, like on the podcast I just talked about before. I actually brought this point up and said this is a good thing. That I feel that you're bringing a new market into people that are interested in buying music and like helping you find a way to earn money from being a musician, because before the investors were only record label owners.
Yeah.
Now it's everyone. So, and I was saying this in a sort of to make everyone understand. It's like I can be a music fan, but as someone that is a little bit closer to it, that will probably never own a record label, I can't necessarily go in and help someone or invest, have 50K and go, yep, I'm going to put it into this artist. Because I've got other interests, so my business doesn't work like that essentially. So it's like, well, what if I know an artist is going to be good and I still want to invest something in them? Well, NFTs can be that perfect kind of, way that you can invest without having to invest so heavily. And the average person can go, I really feel like, I went to this guy's show and I really feel like he has something. And I'm really surprised he's not signed yet. Oh, he's got an NFT release. And he's like, oh, you can, I'll own 0.07% of his or 5% of his career. Cool. I'm in, I've got $5,000 and I want to invest, but I think that's what it opens up to. And I'm actually really happy that that's happening. So I'm opposed to this one.
And I think that like it's definitely just because of the NFTs being so new, and it's where the market kind of like is at the moment. And it's what people are kind of a lot of people are in the NFT space for, is to make money. So it's just, I think, a short-term problem. Once NFTs are more mainstream, once more people onboarded, then it will become a lot more. I think like prices will go down. It won't be so expensive to buy things, and there will be less of like a quick flip mentality, which there is now. It'll be more about, yeah, I want to support this artist. I'm going to buy their NFT, and I get those perks because I'm supporting them. I want to see where their career goes.
Yeah, it's exactly what you said, Brock. Like this has always been a thing, but it was more record labels betting on artists, and investing
one particular part of the world investing in it, rather opposed to everyone.
But now they've fractionalized record labels essentially, so that we can all invest and be part of that process, or crowdfunding. We've seen it happen already in the space with certain artists and things like that. But it's something that's going to continue to grow, I think, and we'll see more of it. But yeah, definitely at the moment. But that's just the NFT space. That's where we're at. Until we get that mainstream and those other people in, that's where it's going to be for a little while. And people just have to be, happy with it, I guess.
I really love that thought, fractionalizing a record label. Like that's a really interesting way to help other people understand it, I think. And break it down.
You just gave me that idea then when you were talking about it, so that's fresh.
Yeah. Say it out loud. I'm gonna clip that one too, Joe. So don't worry. I'll make you look. You're very smart today. This is all dry clips. Yeah.
Let's go.
Anything else to add? Az? No. Yes.
No. Agreed.
You watching maths in the background, are you, mate?
Maths isn't not anymore, mate. So
this is the great cook-off.
He knows it's not on.
No, I've got my screen at the top here with the tweets up, so I'm just looking. I'm reading.
Just giving him a bit of shit there. Hype. That's the next one. Yes, hype. There is more hype around music NFTs than the actual amount of impact music NFTs have had. Fair statement. People are shouting from the rooftop that music NFTs are the future, myself included, in brackets, and it comes off as inauthentic. There needs to be more tangible case studies.
Yeah, he's right?
It's because it's so new. I completely agree. Yeah.
We all agree, and like even he says, myself included. So he's agreeing with us and himself. But yeah, it's early that it's going to come.
I think I posted a tweet the other day that had, what was it? 400 million users on Spotify, 163 million users on eBay, 1 million wallets on OpenSea. So that comparatively. Still that's so low, and then you go to music NFTs and it's like 900 songs have been 900 artists have minted songs on Mint Songs platform. So we are very early. There's a long way to go, and to say
just
what he
needs
said
time.
there is it's spot on. There is a lot of, I'm trying to think of it, is it like Water and Music does a lot of studies. They do like once a month release on I'm trying to remember, I'll link it in the show notes. I'll remember it and I'll give it a try and I'll link it in the show notes. But there's one particular site that does a study, I think almost every 30 days on the music NFT market and what's happening. So you can check that out in the show notes. Next up, and I think this is number 8, yeah. Number 9.
Yeah, we've got 2 more left.
2 more to go.
Industry experience. Many top players in music NFTs do not have deep music industry experience. Operators, collectors, and creators are building from scratch and often do not have horror stories. Those deep in the cut do. This signals negligence to professionals who suffered.
Yeah,
I'll let you guys lead this one.
Go on, Ads. You got anything to say?
Just call me Ads.
Yeah, I did. Just gave you a nickname. Gave you a new nickname.
I mean, is this an issue? Is this an issue in the music NFT space?
Well, I think what he says is it signals negligence to professionals who suffered. So he's saying that people who have no experience are now pretending they have experience, I think. When others have done all the work in the industry.
I think it's more, I think it's saying there's no industry experts in the space right now. There's minimal industry experts. And
There's
that's
a
like
reason.
it's like the reason he's saying there's not many massive artists at the moment. It's because it's, again, you're just talking about it being so new, which is the whole, the whole thread is about the music space being so new.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
actually
mean,
think that
like it's just like it's a new kind of platform. So it's like you can't. I don't know. It's like, sure, people who are new to the industry are like trying this out and doing things, but like that's just part of growing the space and the platform. I mean, you can't just expect, hey guys, sorry, only people with 50 billion streams and $500 million record labels, they're only allowed to build.
well, like yeah, well, think about this. Like, how many people who own cabs went and drove for Uber when Uber started? Probably none, because it was disrupting their industry. So why would people from the music industry want to be part of something that's going to disrupt their industry? I think a lot of them are trying to sort of stay away from it so that people don't move into it. I think that's probably a big thing. Like, you're seeing some labels and things, but I think a lot of them are sort of trying to downplay it and saying we're not going to get into it because we don't think it's a real thing and it's not going to be a thing, because it would disrupt their models totally. And so, like, why would they get in? The people who are entrenched in the music industry, unless they're with indie artists, it doesn't make sense for them to do that. So, I think they're watching from the sidelines, hoping it doesn't happen, but probably observing what's happening quite closely, and deciding whether they have to get in. I don't think they want to get in because it's something new. They would prefer to just keep it going how it's always gone, have all the power. Why would they want to give more power to the artists and the fans? So I personally think that it's disrupting the industry. So they're not going to want to get in, and that's why they're not. But it only takes a few players to get in before things start to change. And that's hopefully what we see.
Or artists who have signed like 10, 15, 20-year contracts with record labels. They don't own any of their music, so they're like, shit, I've got nothing to do here. I hope this blows because all these other artists are making way more money than me.
Yeah. But does that make sense? Like, I don't know why they would I don't know why they would get into the industry, really.
Yeah, like I think I've heard that a couple of times as well. It's like a lot of the bigger artists are already at a stage where it's like, to roll out an NFT thing is more of an annoyance than worth than worth their time. So if you're really into the crypto Web3 space, yeah. But if you've already have those deals in place, it's kind of like, the Brinks truck's already out the front of my house, so I don't need to get it closer.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the guys at the top anyway. We've got one more.
Yep. One more? Is it ownership? Yeah, ownership.
Yeah.
Ownership. Music. Most music NFTs come with no underlying ownership. While there are platforms that do support this, like Royal.io, the vast majority of traffic today is around collectibles. Many people have a hard time understanding why a collectible has value, let alone thousands of dollars.
I mean, we talked
I feel
about
like we already touched on this.
It's similar to the IP topic, I think. Yeah, you've never really owned part of a song before, so again, it's a new concept. And then it goes back to owning CDs and being part of your identity. That's why people can do it.
I think he kind of alludes to it in a previous point where it's like the flex, what you have to communicate and what people are starting to realize is it's like, and how he purchases music NFTs as well. He's doing the same thing. When he buys one, it's like, I support this artist and I'm flexing to the rest of the music NFT community that I support this artist and that I have one of his NFTs. And because if you get on a drop like Royal or like Sound XYZ, there's very minimal amount of NFTs available. So if you have one of the 50 to 100 that you could purchase, you're one of a very small group that can basically high five each other in the metaverse, essentially. And that's the value. Like that's what you're getting with ownership is you're getting it kind of ownership kind of in brief communicates every other point we've just brought up. It's like that's how we see it so exciting. Like that's all the points that we feel is like, owning it right now, and probably for a long time, it's going to be just the sheer fact of wanting to be a part of that artist community.
Awesome. We did it. We got to the end.
Anything else everyone wants to add before we?
No.
No, I think
it's already been 40 minutes long. Jesus.
Yeah, I think all I'd add is that, you know, like while we've been, you know, I suppose critical of a lot of the points, you know, we do sort of agree with a lot of what Cooper's saying as well, and you know, we're not here to bash his comments and things, but we think it's interesting.
We love Coops.
We think it's interesting what he's put out. So we want to have a bit of a discussion around it.
Felt it needed discussion for sure.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hot topic in the industry. It's got a lot of traction, this one. So we thought it would be good to talk about. And so shout out Coop.
All right, I think we'll call it a night. Thanks so much for listening. As always, you can check us out at projectdj.io, and you can catch Jai at
boykinkoi.io.
Hey,
we'll just look up boykinkoi on all platforms. Yeah, it's there. It's built, but I've just got to.
And if you want to follow us, of course, follow along on Twitter, NFT Project Pod. We've just got a YouTube, but we have to get a bunch of subscribers before that link can be of any use to anyone. So we will start posting a lot of the clips from the show now on there, and you'll be able to catch the full episode there as well in video form. Wow. We're just killing it. Technology.
Now we got to like put makeup on before episodes and get the lighting right and everything.
We are big fans of Web3, but look at us just dominating Web2 at the same time. Just boys, it's all over. Killing it.
When decentralized YouTube.
Right. We should host a pod in the metaverse soon.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Get the goggles on.
That's a good one. Write that down. All right, this one's gone long. Let's get out of here.
All right. Night, guys.
See you.
See you, everyone.